Cinderella, you don't need to go to the ball.
Please, stepmother, I spent weeks making this dress. My future depends on it.
I would like to begin by connecting two of your works, the recent one, Cinderella and Girl Boss. One of the biggest changes in your version of Cinderella was how she wanted to be a businesswoman, a dress designer, and which is much unlike the older version in which she simply wanted to marry a prince and live a life of a princess. And you were also the creator behind Girl Boss, a series about maybe a less wholesome woman who was also trying to start a business of her own. And is this theme like really important to you? And why do we see this so often in your works?
Well, I mean, the Girl Boss TV show was very, very specific about a very specific person, in Sophia Amorosa, about being, and she, wrote the book Girl Boss, and it was really her story about how young she was and how she broke the rules and created the life that she had for herself. So, that was like, to me, that was like a separate thing. Like, it's not as though I'm like seeking that out as a theme, but for how to change Cinderella, it was like, to me, this is coming from the person who created a show called Girl Boss, but I feel like a woman wanting to have a career or a life of her own and have ambitions, to me, it's bigger than the Girl Boss name. Like, it's like, you're not gonna say boy boss. You're not gonna, when a young guy wants to, grow up and be ambitious. So I think it's bigger. I think what Cinderella is after is her own life and life on her terms. And so in that way, that theme is really important to me. And I think that is something, that I gravitate toward, because we're not there yet in terms of equality with women and having them choosing and being okay with them choosing themselves and taking care of themselves and being, making themselves happy. So that's exciting for me to talk about and to illustrate.
Yeah. And Cinderella also has a colorblind casting, costumes that are not bound by the time and the period they're supposed to be in. Music and language is perhaps more familiar to a person from the generation Z rather than a peasant living in 19th century. And we recently learned that the world is more than ready to welcome something like this when last year Bridgerton released, and it was the biggest show of the year.
Right.
And did the reaction that show got make you more secure and more confident about how Cinderella will be received in this way that you attempted it this time?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing I wanted to do with Cinderella was to be, have it be funny and have song and dance. And so I wanted you to laugh and sing along and have a good time, right? So I really wasn't that worried about how. Well, of course, I was worried how it'd be received. I'm always worried how it's going to be received, and you want the jokes to work and all of that. But I knew that I was trying to come at it from just like, really wanted to make it highly entertaining. Now, Ellen Mirojnick, she did our costumes for Cinderella. She also did costumes for Bridgerton. And so there was many conversations about that. Like what I wanted to do was to have this traditional feel and vibe that we all know, and then put in all these modern twists within it. So it actually, like, even though I don't have an actual specific time of a long, long time ago, I wanted a kingdom of a time of itself, where it felt like a fairy tale. And I don't even name the kingdom. We don't even know what it is. But I wanted it to feel like, the core of it was traditional. The core of their look was traditional. And then, like A Knight's Tale, just, do little things here or there to make it feel, more edgy and maybe something that you would see today.
A lot fresher than the previous iterations.
Yeah.
And why was
I just want to tell you, it was so funny. There was when I would really, at the ball, when I would look to see the different, the hair and whatever and the wigs. There, one time I turned and looked, and there was a big wig And then right here, there was a swing set that moved back and forth with a bird on it. And I was like, I don't know what time or place that comes from, but I love it.
Yeah. And Cinderella, the story, is about 2000 years old and has had many versions over time. And recently, Disney released a very popular version that really got big bucks at the box office as well. But when you decided to go ahead with the story, why was Cinderella the folktale that you chose? And are you open to maybe looking to other cultures for more folktales that have not been explored yet? I saw one person in Indian outfit in the ball scene as well, and maybe you would have some interest in Indian stories.
Oh, well, I think Cinderella is the most iconic underdog story that there is in terms of fairy tales and with women, or with like a young woman who has nothing and then comes from something. So I don't think there's anything else I would look at like fairy tale wise and go like, oh, I want to retell that, or I want to see see something there. So, but I was so excited to see just how beautiful, like all the women at the ball looked. And during What a Man, Nikita and Nakaya and like all those princesses, I love them so much. And I just wanted to make sure that it was a multicultural feel and world, and that there was some progressive people within the ball.
Yeah. And Kay, a lot is also being said recently about the flash mob that happened a day ago.
Gosh.
And some of it has not been very positive. And a few were even reminded of Gal Gadot's Imagine video from last year. Have you read any of the feedback on it? And do you think that such activities might sometimes not work in a movie's favor?
I don't know. I feel, I feel, they were doing a crosswalk musical, which is going to air next week. And all those crosswalk musicals are so great. I think that I think there's that thing of like, no, publicity is bad publicity, or like, like that like more people are thinking about it. But like anything, those things go in, they blow over, and I think this film, hopefully the film speaks for itself. And I don't know. I don't know if I would compare it to the Imagine video. I mean, it's just James Corden in a mouse outfit, like thrusting a car, but
with his pelvic thrust, that got a lot of attention, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely got a lot of attention. Oh, is that what you meant? Is that it was a lot of attention, but not that it was being directly compared to it? Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. No, it got a lot of attention, but I mean, I was looking at it too, because I was supposed to go, and I decided not to watch them. And I watched the video. To me, it's hilarious. It's like James Corden in a mouse, costume. It's funny.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kay, for talking to me, and I wish you all the best with your movie.
Thank you so much. Thanks for chatting.